the oleuropein or the olive leaf extract is a large molecule. Now, let me show this to you graphically, right? So I showed you earlier, this is your hydrox molecule, right? And this is your oleuropein. This comes from the fruit, this comes from the leaf. So right away, right, a 6-year-old kid will tell you that this is a small molecule, it's a large molecule, right? And think of what that means in terms of absorption, whether on the skin or whether orally, okay? Small means better absorption. But more important than that is you will notice that this has got a lot of OH bonds here, yeah? And these make it very water soluble, right? This has got a large double bond rings here. It's a large molecule with a lot of oxygen here, and this makes it very water insoluble. Okay, so it's very poorly absorbed, and you certainly can't make a skin cream from it. You can't make a skin cream from oleuropein. You can make a skin cream from hydroxytyrosol because it's water soluble, right? Now, so this is the molecule from the leaf, right? As you can see, it's a very large, complex molecule that is not water soluble because of the level of oxygen double bonds in it, right? It's oil soluble. Okay? Now, let me now come to what we talked about earlier today, Truveno. The product called Truveno, right? Now, what's Truveno? Truveno is basically the first in Malaysia product or compound that is available as a capsule, as a liquid drop, and as a cream. Okay? Because we've got across this barrier of being water soluble. We've improved the formulation to a point where it actually will cross the skin. Okay? Now, this contains the latest technology of hydrox manufacturing, the latest amount of research, right? And it's right now, to the best of our knowledge, the strongest formulation of hydrox anywhere in Malaysia. Okay? Now, it's the only hydrox that's available as a capsule, as drops, and as a cream. Okay? So you have an option now of, remember we talked about healing before, right? Now, up until now, all the healing has been from within. I got to take the capsule. I got to wait for it to get to my skin. But now I can heal from within and heal from the outside. I can apply the cream and at the same time take the capsule or the drops and wait for my system, wait for the body to pick it up, take it up to the skin tissue level or the skin level and see improvement. So you have actually healing from without, from outside, and healing from the inside. And I think that is significant. Okay? This is especially so for skin conditions. So all skin conditions will respond much better when you feed the skin from the inside, but also feed the skin from the outside. Right? So you actually have a 1-2 combination. Now, so that's Truveno cream, right? It's a cream formulation. It's non-greasy. It's a vanishing cream, right? There's quite a bit of technology that's gone into making the cream, right? And you should see effects in 5 days. Okay? You should see effects in 5 days, especially if you combine this with the drop or the cream where you're hitting the skin from both from inside and from the outside, right? And in this part of the world, surprisingly, allergy is a very common problem. Various levels of eczema is a common problem. In fact, psoriasis is big enough in this population, which shocked me when I first found out, right? So here is a product that can help you, that can help the skin from the outside as well as from the inside, right? So you have a 1-2 combination, and the effects because of this tend to be felt actually within 5 days. Okay? So if you like, coming to the conclusion now, you can say that you have now a compound that is available in various formulations, right? It's most researched, hydrox that we have is the most researched with true science. It's organically grown with true organic certification, and it is a patent technology with true benefits, right? So we say it's true naturally, and we call it Truveno, right? So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a lot of this debate about olive leaf extract, because everybody's going to write on the olive thing, and they're going to write on it versus the olive fruit extract. Now, we're probably the very few ones who are fruit, and we're probably the very few ones who have the certification and the science to support it, right? Now, I want to quickly talk about freeze drying versus spray drying, because again, over time, as this thing becomes very, very big, a lot of companies will start spray drying it. It gets much cheaper when you get it spray dried, right? And the technology involved in spray drying is a very unique technology where it's an interplay between pressure and temperature. Yeah, you're playing with pressure and temperature, and spray drying, freeze drying happens at a very, very low temperature, generally below zero, right? And it's generally done by the time you hit zero, right? So it happens in a below zero phase, right? And sometimes beyond that, you may use vacuum to remove liquids out. So you never actually get into hot air drying, and you never use any other excipient. So when you use, no spray is used, so you don't use any fillers, any binders. You won't find, for example, in the product maltodextrin, right? You won't find maltodextrin in the product. And that's important, because that shows that you only take the product as it is, right? And remove only the water. But you do it at a low temperature that the product remains integral. The product does not change, right? Same technology in a sperm bank, where you remove the water, you make the sperms go into some kind of suspended stage, right? And later when you add water, you hydrate it back, the sperm becomes alive, because you actually suspend the life, right? So there's a lot of technology involved here with freeze drying, right? So we're back to the olive, the humble olive that became the basis of the secret of the Mediterranean diet, right? And it was much talked about, much research about. We always focus on eating olives in the Middle East because they could get it. But again, you'd eat a lot of olives, right? Or we used to get olive oil. And we all, I'm sure all of you at home, who has olive oil in the house? Show of hands. Right? Who would pay a little bit more for organic olive oil, or virgin olive oil, or extra virgin? Show of hands. See, there you are. Everybody knows there is value in it. But we were all, the guys who were making it were actually throwing away the best part. They were throwing away the juice and squeezing the pulp and getting the oil out and giving the oil out to us, right? And the few of us who knew we had something better with virgin olive oil or extra virgin olive oil were paying a little bit more for it, right? And if you tasted it, there was a bit of a bitterness in the taste, on the tongue, at the back of the mouth, right? And now we're finding out that that's the most valuable thing there is in the olive. Okay? Now, it's fully certified organic, right? And I think that's you know, it's easy to say. It's a big deal, okay? In many countries, there's very, very strong certification programs where, you know, if you have an olive oil farm, for miles, there cannot be a road. If you put manure, it must come from an organic certified farm, right? No chemicals are used, no spraying, no pesticides. It's a big deal, right? And again, you pay more. In fact, you pay sometimes a lot more, but really, there's value in it, right? And this is now coming to a pharmacy near you. I want to quickly say today that we work with Mrs. Jaya and Jason from Good Medic, right? And all our sales today are through them. They're our partners, right? And I thank them for coming in and working with us on this one. But soon, it'll be available in a pharmacy near you. Okay? Now, there are some promotions and all that which I'm going to share with you shortly, because this is the part where you say, rancangan ini ditaja oleh, right? But we want to also share that with you, and then I will come to a bit of Q&A. Okay, there were a lot of questions at the break, and maybe it's a good time now to share, and maybe I can answer with a bit more depth, right? So today you get a 25% discount on all products, right? Thanks to good medic. All right? Now, on top of that, if you bought the Truveno intro pack, by the way, the Truveno intro pack already gives you the cream for free. The cream, when it's sold, will be about $49. Okay? Like I said, it's a cream. It's the only one right now in Malaysia, and the very few in the world right now. It works within 5 days. So you will see the effects in 5 days. It works very well when you combine it with the oral infusion of Hydrox. But on top of that, today, only now, you also get a free tube of the 30-gram cream today if you buy today. Now, all of you probably, how many of you know Pristine here? Show of hands. How many use Pristine? How many took Pristine for breakfast today? Now I'm checking, you know. How many bought another competitor because it's cheaper? No, these hands won't go down, right? This is right now the purest, cleanest fish oil in Malaysia. We have $100,000 ringgit for anybody who can come to us at any time and show any amount of toxin in Pristine. We'll give you $100,000 cash. Okay? We've been doing it for the last 2.5 years. Nobody's done it. Nobody's tested it. I'm sure our competitors also test the product. Right? We test it to parts per trillion. We test in Europe twice. We test here once. Right? We make sure that you have the cleanest, purest fish oil. And it's important because the oceans are also toxic today. And most of us take fish oil high dose. We take it for a long time. Pregnant mothers take it. Breastfeeding mothers take it. You give it to your elderly parents. So we want to make sure that the products are absolutely toxin free. And today, right, if you buy 2 Pristine of the 150s, you get 30s free. Only today. If you buy 2 Pristine, if you buy 3 Pristines, you get the 30s free. Okay? So see my colleagues outside for these promotions. And then Lacto 5. This is the locally derived probiotic. It's the only one in the country, right? You've got to understand all the other probiotics are imported from Australia, from Japan, from France, from Canada, there's one. But, you know, ours are all derived here, right? We went to breastfeeding mothers here. We went to cows here. We went to fruits here, durian. We went to soil here. Why? Because the probiotics here must be prepared to eat the food you do. The probiotics that come from France don't have roti canai for breakfast, or nasi lemak for lunch, or nasi kandar, what have you, right? So we know from studies done in Norway, leading experts have said that the more local it is, the more it will survive in your gut, the longer it will stay in your gut, okay? And it's all about them growing in your gut, right? So today, if you buy Lacto 5, then we give you one free pre-Lacto 5. Pre-Lacto 5 actually is a combination of various products, including fenugreek and chicory root, which actually regulate your gut. Okay. Now, as I did with this boy, he's an 8-year-old boy. I said the first thing I want to know is his tools. Right. Now, how do you know if the car is working fine? Or if you go to a mechanic, what does the mechanic do? The first thing you look at the smoke coming out. The smoke black, no smoke, got smoke, right? So you too see what's coming out. So there's a way to test your stools. Now in Ayurveda, it is said that stools must be like banana. Soft, light colored, not so smelly, and must float. Okay? If your stools in the morning they sink like a submarine, then there's a problem. That means they've stayed too long in your gut. The water's been pulled out. And when they stay too long, they are also, your body is forced to absorb some of those toxins, which it shouldn't. Okay? With this one, okay, in 5 days, your stools will float like a banana. It will float, not so smelly, not so dark colored, okay, lighter in color, right, and regular. Okay? Because it's absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical that you see what comes out every morning. Because what comes out every morning tells you what happened the last 24 hours. The food that went in, did it stay too long? Was it right? Did your body reject it? Did your body heal with it? Or was it killing your body? Okay? And if in the morning nothing comes out, you better worry as well, because constipation is actually killing the Western world. There's not enough fiber in the diet. Okay? So today, if you do this, then you get the pre-lacto 5 free, right? So please see my colleagues outside as well. Now, if you buy more than $300 and above today, then you get this organic fruit and vegetable extract, all from France, free of charge. Okay? Okay. I thank you very much for spending the time. I know today we had to compete with a rally in town and the haze out there. So I really appreciate the fact that you all took time to come. I hope that you found this useful. I hope you'll pick up the offers outside when you leave. And I'm going to stay here to answer your questions. And I'm open to all questions now. And later I can also handle questions one-on-one. Yeah? So there are mics all over the hall. There's also a mobile mic. My colleague Miyuki and will pass it to you. If you just raise your hands, please give us your name and then ask the question. Yes, sir.
I'm Adrian Chu. I'd like to know, there's another product in the market called olivenol.
Yes.
Is it similar?
Yes. There is a product called olivenol. I don't want to say too much about them because some of you may or may not know it's a subject of a legal litigation going on. We are not involved in it in any way, and I don't want to get involved by saying anything now. Right? All I can say is Dr. Roberto Crea has now assigned the rights for Asia Pacific to Cornell Brothers, and Cornell is the largest personal care ingredient distributor in the world, and they assign it to us. Okay? But because of that, we get the latest research and the latest technologies, and we're the only ones that can come up with a cream. Yeah?
Next question, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Or you just go to the aisle. Go to the aisle.
Okay.
Just go to the aisle.
There's
Yes,
one
sir.
on the left side, yeah.
Your name, sir?
I'm Larry Tay. How do we take olive oil as a supplement or in our diet? Do we have to cook with it? I understand taking raw is very good, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Say I take as a supplement, say how much? I just simply say now, say a teaspoon a day or teaspoon twice a week or something like that.
Okay.
What do you recommend?
Okay. Thank you, Larry. Okay, the question is, how do you take olive oil, okay? Now, knowing what we now know today, you want to go and look for extra virgin olive oil, okay, for a start. Number two, absolutely right, do not cook with this. Olive oil is not meant to cook, not meant to fry. It's very sensitive. It's a monounsaturated fat. It breaks down, okay? So it should be used as a dressing to your food, as garnishing, right? Or you take 1 or 2 teaspoons daily, right? So if you're having, for example, eggs for breakfast, you can put it on an egg, you put it in your salads, or you can just take it out. Take it as a liquid on a teaspoon. Yeah? But you're right, no cooking, right? No heating. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Rajen, I'm Lorna. Two questions here.
Okay.
First is, how useful is kiwi fruit?
Kiwi fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
Second question, cancer is a killer now.
Yes.
So many funerals we attend, most of them are cancer.
Yes.
I'm sure all these cancer patients, the family would have put them into extra virgin oil a long, long time already.
Yes.
How would this be any different?
Okay, all right. For the first question, it's free. Second question, I charge, okay? Okay. Kiwi fruit is a very good fruit. I take it quite often, right? It's rich in a lot of nutrients. It's rich particularly in potassium and magnesium, right? We've not identified any specific markers that make kiwi extra special. We know it's high in vitamin C. It's a good fruit to have, right? But we've not, and I know there's been a lot of work done in New Zealand, but also now in Europe and in China. They've got better varieties of kiwi, the golden kiwi and so forth, which are sweeter and all that. But we've seldom hear about compounds from the kiwi specifically that are life-giving or life-saving or life-enhancing. As a general rule, all fruits that grow in very cold climates tend not to have a lot of antioxidants. as a general rule. Okay? You need to be closer to the equator where you've got a lot more sun, and the sun tends to force these plants to produce the compounds to protect themselves against the sun. So the plants you find in the tropics close to the equator have more smell, more color, more taste. Say durian, for example. They're very rich fruits. Mango is very fragrant, rich fruits, right? And as you move away from the tropics, the fruits tend to have less and less antioxidants, less and less smell, less and less color, less and less taste. Okay, second question, cancer. Yep, I imagine, I would imagine that the moment somebody is diagnosed of cancer, then they go look for virgin olive oil. And that's very sad. That's very sad, really. And I, by way of email or by way of phone or by way of interaction, speak to about 2 or 3 people who are dying of cancer every week, right? Almost always, this is a very reactive approach. It's very sad because it hit them hard and then they want to do something about it. I want to help them. I want to help them, right? But unfortunately, by the time you diagnose cancer, by the time you find out it's cancer, by the time you find out that you have cancer, it's probably stage 2, 3, or maybe 4. There's very little they can do, right? I'm not even certain Truveno can help you at that stage, right? If you're going through chemotherapy and you've got a lot of antioxidants and you've got a lot of oxidation, a lot of radiation going on, I'm sure Truveno as a liquid will help you. I say liquid because it's better absorbed, it's more potent, more powerful, and you can keep taking it as a daily drink, right? We are more interested in the prevention market. I suspect you are here because of prevention. I don't think people here are dying of cancer as such. And I don't want you all to be dying of cancer, right? And the good thing of prevention is an old saying, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's painless, right? And I think adding something like Truveno to your daily diet, you don't need to have high doses if you've got no problems, helps you quench all this oxidation, helps you quench all this free radical activity that we cannot escape in modern living. Can't escape. I mean, if you're living in a mountain somewhere, or meditating 23 hours a day, that's not a problem. But you and I live with the haze out there, with the smoke, with the pollution. You and I are eating food outside which is tainted with antibiotics and hormones and preservatives. We know this, right? So at least you do something to reduce that burden, that debt. Now you can do it with olive oil, extra virgin, but as you saw today, the juice of the pulp has got 300 times more hydrotyrosol, which is what you want, which is what you need. Yeah? Question? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Mrs. Chua here.
Mrs. Leong.
Chua. Yeah.
Okay.
Does this hydros work in autoimmune diseases, for example, Sjogren?
For example?
Sjogren disease.
Sjogren. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
okay.
in all autoimmune diseases, there is a high level of inflammation. Right? Inflammation causes the reaction of autoimmunity. I mean, psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder. Asthma is autoimmune. Sinus is autoimmune. In all of them, it will work. Like I said, this 8-year-old boy is improving because it's an autoimmune disorder. It's very difficult because he's on 50 milligrams of steroid a day. 8 years old. Huh? His face like a moon. But it's already working. Right? So as long as you can work to quench inflammation, all disease will subside. Aging will slow.
I'm Ming Chu, and I have renal failure. I'd like to know how does Truveno help? Because I have to be very careful with potassium.
I'm sorry, can you please say, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? I have renal failure.
Renal failure, okay.
Yes, and I'd like to know how Truveno will be able to help me because of potassium that I have to be very careful of.
Okay.
There is no indication of how much potassium there is in these products.
Okay. Are you chronic renal failure?
Yes.
You're on dialysis?
I am already on dialysis.
3 times a week?
Yes.
Okay.
It's no more chronic. It's
Okay. The content of potassium of the hydrox, whether cream, liquid or capsule, is very low. Okay. It will not in any appreciable way alter the dynamics of your potassium situation.
You're right.
Okay. Your kidneys are already gone. There's nothing you
Yep.
can do about it. So hydrox won't have that as well, right? But what caused the inflammation? Are you diabetic, hypertensive,
No, it was an autoimmune.
autoimmune?
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll help that. It'll help the autoimmune. And how long has this been? How long has this been?
I'm into my 10th year of dialysis.
10th year? Oh,
Yes.
Very good. You're doing very well.
I am.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, give her a clap.
But there's
there
a
are
lot
lo-
of fruit. There's a lot of food restrictions. So
Yes,
there are
yes.
a lot of things that I have to be very careful.
Yes.
Because I've many times gone into hyperkalemia.
Yes.
And talking about stools and all that, because
Yes.
the water fluid intake is very limited.
Yes. Yes.
There is always occasions of.
Why don't you see me afterwards?
Yes, I would like to.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. Thank
Yeah?
you.
Okay, back here.
My name is Sue.
Yeah.
I'm a member of Altonin for many, many years.
Thank you very much. Please give her a
Yeah.
hand.
Okay. I have a granddaughter. In fact, I have three grandchildren
Okay.
who are all under 5.
Okay.
The elder one is going to be 5.